Hello guys and welcome back once again to ESL TV. I'm MhSV Richardson and joining me is Jason Kaplan.
Oh, handsome.
The handsome.
You know, I always
Kaplan.
give you like an adjective before, like the handsome, the flawless, the fantastic, the stupendous, and you just say Jason.
Okay, let me try again.
Okay.
Hello guys and welcome to ESL TV. I am MhSV Richardson and joining me is the fantabulous, the incredible, the beautiful, the handsome. It's Jason Kaplan.
It's nice.
How good?
Perfect.
Thank you. Well, anyway, I think we are going to be going straight on into our next game, guys. It's our semi-final here at the ESL One Battlefield Spring Season Cup number 5 semi-final. We're into our first game, and I got it all right eventually. It took my time, but I got there. And we're going into this game, of course, on the US side, the blue side, we're going to have MhSV, and over on the right-hand side, we, of course, have Fnatic. MhSV, roster rundown for you. Etix, Mr. Nevax, Banshing, Phaelix, and Tayu. And for Fnatic, a lineup that needs no introduction. Drunks, Unfix, Valo, Mort, and Too Easy. And we've kicked this one off with a bit of a bang, and it looks to be that actually both sites A and B are currently up for discussion.
Let's see, we'll finally turn back over to Fnatic. We're seeing a kind of a standard start now after a little bit of a weird hiccup kicking things off. So C in the hands of Fnatic, B and A in the hands of MhSV. And I should point out that MhSV did beat SK, the team who we expected to come into the semifinals, the top 4 team that we've seen time and time again always get here. And they lost out. So MhSV with a lot to prove here. Really excited to see how they're going to do against Fnatic, the undisputed.
You were about to say undefeated then, weren't you?
No, I was trying to find the words for undisputed. Best team in Battlefield, winning the last 3 seasons alone.
Look at this pressure that's being applied to Phaelix. He really cannot move a muscle. He's managed to take Valutaja with him, but look at this pincer movement being executed. Does get spawns in on him. He's going to basically have to just hold the angle that's given to him, but he just gets finally snatched away. But fantastic job there from MhSV player to just try and intercept as they started to kind of gang rush on towards that B site. In the meantime, though, that is going to swap over towards to come up blue. But look at that. In the meantime, Too Easy profiting from the over-rotation from Banshing. And he's going to be taking that C site home.
Just realized I had the camera. Oh, no, it was on your screen. Okay. I thought it was on my screen the entire time. Must have actually hit the button there. But yeah, MhSV, not a bad start for them. Doing pretty good on kills. 16-11, staying ahead of Fnatic. They have a ticket advantage. They have the flag advantage. And Fnatic, I don't know what's going on. MhSV have really started to step up. Must have just kind of really hashed up maybe the problems they were having within the team in terms of strategy, in terms of leadership, or whatever it may be. But they're giving Fnatic a run for their money. And what is with all these teams really shining bright now? Epsilon getting pushed to the brink of a loss against Infamous and still able to come out ahead.
Yeah, indeed. And now Etix going to be sitting at the top of that scoreboard. 6-3 is that scoreline. 5-3 for Banshing, the only 2 members who are still left remaining after the near squad wipe. Nevax at the other end of the spectrum on the scoreboard. Maybe not for too much longer, though, as he gets a great pick onto Valu. Maybe looking for more as the squad do start to kind of close in on this C site. You can see 3 members from Fnatic making a big play towards that B site. And just Phaelix there to stand in their way. Well, he didn't do too much of that as he does get taken down immediately. As Too Easy picks up the 3, make it 4. As actually it was Valu, I got excited. Does pick up that one. So 120-111, and Fnatic trying to close that very slight gap, slight lead that MhSV had built up, and they're going to do just that.
It's taken them a little bit of time, but Fnatic finally get to get things going for them. Finally able to get some sort of momentum. Maybe a little bit of luck on their side, but MhSV still fighting back, still have the A and C flag. Yeah, the tickets are pretty much tied, but it hasn't felt like that. It really hasn't felt like that's been earned out of Fnatic. MhSV have been just doing a flawless job in the get-go in this first half of our first map. I'm really curious to see why Fnatic is struggling so hard. Remember, they're the reigning champions 3 seasons running. They had a season where they didn't lose a single cup. They've been in the finals in 3 of the 4 so far, and are looking to repeat with number 5. And they are well ahead in first place, but MhSV are doing such a phenomenal job here, really fighting back. A nice nade comes in, does change things a little bit, but they were close to a tri-cap. They're actually going to be able to pick up the B flag before anything can be done, and they're going to be able to tri-cap Fnatic of all teams.
That is exactly what they wanted. And now MhSV, a team who already bested SK, can they kill another giant of Battlefield 4 competitive scene? Now Phaelix is going to try and find 2. He does, and now finally, as he does draw a huge amount of blood, 4 Fnatic members littering the battlefield, and the last man, sorry, not the fast man, is standing as stalwart as he can. Not going to happen. Actually gets killed by the incendiary, as that map is remaining blue for a surprising amount of time. They are finally closing in on that C site, sorry. But Banshing doing a very passive defensive maneuver here. Maybe he's going to let them take it back and then sneak on in for the retake.
Let's see if he does go for it. Actually, no, does give his presence away. He has been spotted out, but he's buying a lot of time. They're committing 4 men of Fnatic. Actually, all 5 were at that C flag. And every extra second or two that MhSV can keep them there is more time for MhSV to get set up and get in the right position to hold them back. And Fnatic, they are just clueless. They don't know where to go. They're down 50 tickets. I can't remember the last time we've seen Fnatic be down that much.
This is a superb start from MhSV. Bear in mind, it is a start, as that trip cap lasted for such a long time, but we know Fnatic are the team to be unfazed by deficits like this. So keep your eye on those US tickets, as MhSV are going to try and throw a spanner in the works of the Fnatic side. They're a well-oiled machine, though, and Fnatic already showing us why they are the best team in the world. Now, 4-7.
Every kill's been going their way.
Yeah, exactly. They've just turned it on. And already the battlefield started to look a whole lot more red as Fnatic look for the trip cap.
Well, they're looking for it, but unfortunately that will be stopped in just a second with the A flag being picked back up on the side of MhSV. But they will get C. They will get the 2-1. And the question comes to this. Can they maintain the 2-1? They haven't been successful with it so far. Every time that they were able to get the 2-1, it was quickly changed over, quickly dissipated within the next 20 seconds or so. And MhSV are 50 tickets away from getting themselves a first half victory against Fnatic. The behemoth Battlefield team has really taken the entire competitive scene by storm. MhSV, they're fighting, and we talked about, in the beginning of the show, there's a lot of teams out there who are fighting and who have that drive to, beat the top teams, to be one of the top 4 teams, the top tier in Europe. And honestly, MhSV are, they're impressing me quite a bit now. Yeah,
most definitely. And I mean, the fact that they're maintaining this now, what could have very, very easily been nipped in the bud by Fnatic, and it hasn't been just yet, as Drunks and Unfixed are making the push, making the plays they need to, as, wow, Drunks roaming around with the AEK seems to be his only real weapon of choice at this point, as he does drop that medic's bag. Now, sidearm, of course, the Magnum, we've seen him make plays of that in the past, especially on Dawnbreaker, those little headshot boxes. It's Value and Mort, 1 apiece. And now with A and B under control, under Fnatic rule, with just 36 seconds left to play. Tickets left to play with. See how long they can maintain this lead.
It's going to be tough, but they will be able to do it potentially. They could really come back, but it won't be the lead that they expected, or that we expected, or any of the viewers expected out of them. But now, pushing back in towards A, it looks like they will be able to pick this one up here in just a few seconds. Nivax, the last man remaining, as Felix does get the respawn back in. They're actually back towards C, so not really going to be able to help out too much and towards these flags yet. But 53-33, they're calling it back. Trying to tie things up here in just a few. And with that push coming in towards the B flag. And 4 men waiting to receive this, and Unfixed there to pick up the first kill. That should be enough to allow Fnatic to even things out now at 33 apiece. 46 now on MhSV. And those tickets are falling fast.
43. That number seems to be falling incredibly fast. I mean, I'm starting to question whether or not MhSV are going to be able to stabilize, because Fnatic have already made this first half a lot more difficult than it needs to be for Fnatic. .33. A and B still flying for Fnatic and MhSV. Their answers are getting a little bit slim. Just now you can see they're just spawning in on C. It's all that Fnatic are giving to them. And now, Fax at the top of the escalators isn't going to connect the bullets onto Drunks. Drunks just kind of tagged, but not really too afraid, as he realizes that their pressure alone has forced the MhSV side to take the long marathon over towards A.
They've dropped 3 tickets now in the past 30 out of MhSV. Like, they are really hammering home this game. They've really kind of turned it on when they needed to. Unfixed at 16-8. Value at 17-13. 24-11 for 2easy. I don't think I've ever seen that many kills. I've seen 23s, but never 24s. And with the time we still have left, that could potentially hit 30.
It very well could do. As now that Fnatic side are finally starting to fall a little quicker. As first 3 tickets in 30 tickets Not quite going to happen again. 20-16 now, finally in the driving seat, but for only a second as Velutaja springs to life on that C flag. And now, what have you got for us, Mort? Very little, as he does get taken down this time by Ethics. Quick response from MhSV. They clear out those two defensive players. It was Drunks and Mort, I believe, who are holding on towards that B site. And off the back of that, we're going to see the tickets starting to level out. The A flag is so very important. It is picked up by Fnatic. They realize, MhSV realize it's all on that C flag. If they can't secure it, it's as good as game. Talking of game, they are pushing the arcade, and they're not going to find anything just yet.
Banshee will get the first kill, and that should allow them to get the recap onto, but in the meantime, they're losing B because they committed so many men towards this C push. There's actually a duel going on towards A at the meantime, but the one-on-one battle, which hasn't gone either team's way, as Fnatic finally able to close that out. About 9 tickets left to go, and the 2 respawns they have to force back in. This should be Fnatic pulling out a 9, potentially 9, as they lose 3 men ticket lead, though. Are they going to hold on to these? Are they going to go for the respawns? They have to commit for the respawns because the B flag... Oh no, there's actually a man on it. They're stopping it from being capped over. They're holding it onto the side of Fnatic, and they're going to close it out with an 8-ticket lead.
Just 8 tickets. That is unbelievable. As for our first half scoreline, just 8 in favor of Fnatic. It felt like MhSV had a whole lot more control there than they perhaps should have, but Ethics 22 frags, or just being pipped at the post by Too Easy with 26. But overall, something can be said about MhSV's mid-game there. That was an incredibly strong halfway point for them, and they seem to have a real good an aptitude to kind of finding Fnatic's weak point, especially on that B and C flag. Or sorry, A flag, actually. I'm getting my flags confused. C, of course, the arcade, the wide open space with the escalators, which we saw Fnatic kind of be given as a bit of a consolation prize initially. But then as we hit that mid-game, we hit that kind of 4- or 5-minute mark, it started to seem to me that already we were seeing MhSV control that central area, and I mean, until they got caught out, until we saw Fnatic's incredible comeback, it seemed all too good to be true, perhaps, for MhSV.
But now go into the second half. I always talk about how adaptation is a key thing that teams need to be able to have if you want to be at the top of their game and the top of a scene. So now Fnatic, they know how MhSV are playing. We saw at the end alone how they're able to turn that deficit around. MhSV, can they adapt on the fly like they're going to need to here to pull this one off? Take a first map victory. 8 tickets, not that much. Apparently you can't play trumpets? Trumpets? Yeah, that's a trumpet, right?
Yes, it is.
No trumpets allowed.
Again.
But again, MhSV, fantastic to see them play like that, to see a team challenge Fnatic that isn't SK, that isn't Epsilon, that isn't Meet Your Makers. That's a dirty window. Yeah,
and it's a good scrub. But you're right, it's great to see MhSV really kind of knocking on Fnatic's door and reminding them that they exist as well. Again, very strong mid-tier team. I think it would be tough for me to call between...
I saw that coming. I was like, he's going to run into that and not...
It would be tough for me to call between... I'd probably say between Infamous and MhSV as the top 1 and 2 of the mid-tier teams.
Yeah, actually I can agree, because we saw Infamous get 98 tickets against Epsilon.
Exactly.
On lockers.
So that, I mean, that's good, but I mean, we just saw a 50-60 ticket deficit in the mid-game between MhSV and Fnatic. Now, what have you got for us? Nevax is straight on towards that middle, throwing out a nade, but I think the grenade launcher might be able to do just a bit more work. Doesn't quite connect, though, and already Fnatic are setting up quite a shooting squad was the word I was looking for. You can see it like a 4-man firing line. A shooting fire for Fisher was what happened. Either way, Unfixed has made his way to the site, as have Fnatic, and you can see this response from MhSV is just throw bodies, throw numbers over on towards the flag, and they're going to do just that as the bodies start falling for Fnatic. It's like 4 in a row now for MhSV. Nades came raining in, and they're looking to pick up a troop cap here, Jason.
I feel like they know exactly how
they
Fnatic
do.
How they hold the flags when they take them, because so many of those kills were grenades. It's like they know exactly where they're going to be going when they get there, and they just kind of hold on to the nades until that moment. So a nice little retake onto B5. They actually have a tri-cap right now against Fnatic, who are struggling to get anything back, and if you look at the overview to see where they are, there's not an easy spot for them to come, but the respawn's coming in between A and B. That should allow them to pick up at least 1 flag, maybe 2 if they can time this right.
Yep, Trunks kind of been gifted that spawn, and he's going to be able to come right behind the MhSV defense. But, I mean, if ever you're going to give Fnatic a flag, B isn't that ideal one, because it gives them a lot of pathways into both C and A. And talking of that, already if Mort's made his way, he needs to get there fast. Wow, Banshing, what a vital frag he's picked up there with a Magnum to clear out the A flag, and what was going to very well have been a easy Fnatic A and B hold is suddenly going to become very much another trip cap for MhSV, and I'm very impressed by what I'm seeing here. But
well,
this feels, sorry, I was just going to say, I just realized this feels a little bit too much like the first half we saw.
Just about to say that, yeah. That's exactly what happened at MhSV. They got a nice early lead in Fnatic, were able to stall long enough to take it to 8 tickets for themselves. But MhSV 143 to 97. Not many teams can do this or can say they can do that to Fnatic in the beginning. And if they keep this pace up, I really worry. I worry for this Fnatic. I don't know if they can maybe stop this. MhSV are just looking so strong, but just as quick as I say that, we see them, lose 3-4 people to the Fnatic, and then they end up losing the 2 cap.
Or do they? See already Valitaja forced to back away. The respawn from Felix comes in. They just know that numbers on the site, just need to bolster your numbers, be able to stop that cap coming in. Tayu does exactly the same thing. As you can see, he spawns in as well. And now, as Nevex falls, looking to fill his shoes, there's incendiaries everywhere. That's going to sting. But not enough, as now Fnatic, they are looking to perhaps have a couple of issues here. Who is that in the middle? It's Ethics. Not really the wisest move. Peeking that angle is just so difficult because you can only just see the tip of the head. But still, 81 to 136, as now both of these A and B flags are being questioned. I don't think he's going to get away with it too easy. He's in a tight spot.
I mean, he did at least neutralize it for now. Yeah, he will die from the back, but he got a lot of resources pulled back towards that direction. Seems like everyone we go to just dies within like 3 seconds of the camera going onto him. But 2-1 for Fnatic. That's quickly going to be overturned, though, maybe towards that C flag, as MhSV are sitting 3 men, actually make it 4 to hit that flag, but they're not being successful in the kills just yet. Too easy. They're going to be coming in from the back, looking for 1. He will pick up that two piece, and we'll go for that 3rd around the corner, and that will stop the push onto C. We'll let them B and C hold. And this lead that MhSV had built up is starting to dwindle away. Yeah, and don't forget those 8 tickets. They may not be much, but they may be something, especially as the way this game may be going. We may be seeing a very similar Fnatic comeback we saw in the first half. I mean, yeah, it's only 8, but hey, that could very well be the determining factor if MhSV do not tame this beast soon. Oh, beast isn't looking so deadly. I mean, I hate to keep kind of mentioning it, but Fnatic and Epsilon both just did not look like they were playing that well. And I don't know whether or not it's just them not playing well, or if it's Infamous and MhSV really stepping up into cut number 5. I mean, I guess this is kind of like a nice way to go into it, where the whole season you don't do that well, you go into the last cut, you perform well, and then you kind of ride that high into the groups to get some momentum going and maybe pick up a spot into the offline finals. Either way, Fnatic and MhSV both still duking this out. Tri-cap might be coming in just a few seconds to MhSV. Actually, they just hold the 2-1. But they're all up in Fnatic's face. There are so many men. Everyone but 1 is pushed up into these buildings.
Unbelievable. Felix just doing his best to try and kind of catch a glimpse of a Fnatic member. They are everywhere. It shouldn't be too difficult. Mort does fall there, and as MhSV secure that B site already, Fnatic, they look to be faltering. This was the moment, though. This 5-minute mark, 50 tickets to 100. This was where Fnatic changed it up in the first half and managed to come out with the lead. Can they do it again? And already we are seeing them turn something on, as the B site and C site are now flying for Fnatic.
How long are they going to be flying in that direction, though? MhSV taking their time for the retake. They realize they have a 50-ticket lead. No hurry. Take our time and drag this one out. We realize 8 tickets isn't that much. It's not like that was a big lead at the end of the first half. A lead nonetheless, yes. Well, we'll find out. Last man in the squad for Banshee on MhSV side. And those 50-odd tickets has now transitioned into being sub-40. And Fnatic, if they can keep this pace on, and they will have secured themselves the first map where it looked like they probably shouldn't have won.
MhSV, so good at holding sites, not so good at retaking them. Look at this spread. They're like a web around the map, but you know, one problem with the webs is they're incredibly weak. If you, I don't know where I'm going with that. I was like, I don't know enough about spiders' webs, if I'm honest.
Well, they're clearly not Charlotte.
Okay, that'll do. As Tayo and the entire MhSV side does begin to fall, and it just seems to be a repeat of history.
What?
As a traffic light is being taken for a walk by Ethics.
Is he using it as cover?
It was,
like, it's just a traffic light moving, ignore it.
Mobile cover. But look at Too Easy. He's rubbing salt into the wound, making that move for A because he knows they've invested so heavily into the C and B site. He just says, okay, we'll just have a trip cap for a while. And already the tickets, what were 50 is now 20. Separating these two teams, not even that. In fact, 13 between the two teams.
All right. That 50 ticket lead is gone. 10 tickets remains, and Fnatic are just holding out and brawling better than MhSV at that 5-minute and beyond marker. Drunks, though, unfortunately lose out on that duel. MhSV almost get the squad wipe on a Fnatic as all the nades, rockets, bullets, everything being thrown but the kitchen sink, even the street lights or into that Fnatic squad to maintain that B hold. But it looks like it will go Fnatic's way. Unfix still there to help out with this one. And 36 to 52. MhSV are still fighting back.
Yeah, and fighting back with style as
like a web.
Ah, you're going to hold that one against me. More on towards C. He's going to be able to hold on to that one pretty easily because you can see MhSV have just been wiped out. MhSV trying to make a move on towards that C flag, and I think they're going to get there just in the nick of time. No, Mort does cap it over. It's another trip cap, and those tickets from MhSV are going to fall so very quickly. Like a spider down the water spout. It's now A, B, and C up.
That's what it's all about.
And sometimes Fnatic just need to shout.
Hey, Macarena. Sorry, that's completely off topic. But 34-28, Fnatic able to take the lead when they've been struggling to do that for the majority of this game. MhSV is still fighting strong, but look at the kills between both teams. They're so damn close. Only Too Easy is the one to really kind of separate himself from the rest of the pack at 17 and 10.
Yeah, strong performances from everyone here on the server, and now 31 to 21. Don't forget you have to take 8 away from MhSV's remaining tickets, and that does take it down to incredibly close. This is going to be neck and neck, as you can see. B and C still flying this time for MhSV. This is kind of a bit reminiscent of how they started this game just one half ago. And now level playing field just thereabouts, and here comes time. They have just 12 tickets left to play with. MhSV are in the driving seat for now. Fnatic, they've got one left, good push left in them.
Got one good push, but they're losing men before they could even do that. Look at that. Drunks, Valu, Unfix, all going down. It's all to Morton Too Easy to get something going back for this. So they have to cap some flags back over because they're down to 11. You see, it's actually tied up. It's at 9 to 11 now, as actually Fnatic are losing members left and right. The respawns come back in. They need to get 2 caps on now. A is being back capped on. They're trying to pick up C. And oh my god, MhSV, they're going to do it. They're going to pull off the victory.
Trip cap just to really confirm victory, and wow, MhSV, a team who you would not have looked at on paper and said are going to beat SK, have just done that and some as they continue to advance to our second map with a win under their belt. Fnatic not looking perhaps as shiny as they could. That's MhSV. It feels weird to put a tick in there in that box here on my notes. MhSV secure 1 and this best of 3.
Wow. Wow. It's been the day of upsets. Infamous so close to picking up the win versus Epsilon.
It's true.
MhSV beating SK, beating Fnatic in the first map.
What's happening?
We could see MhSV versus Epsilon in the finals. Wow.
We could. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We saw before we kicked this one off, of course, Fnatic saying, I'm expecting this one to go to 3 maps, and, you know...
They said that?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I didn't see that. Wow.
So perhaps Fnatic were expecting that, you know, with Fnatic, with MhSV's previous result against SK, that was a statement that, like, hey, this MhSV side, they've always had quite a degree of potential, and now they're really kind of maybe hitting that point where they can compete with the best.
It's just such a weird time to hit their stride, too. What happened from Tuesday to today? Actually, let me go back and look what happened on Cup number 4. I want to see who they did play. Just going to be heading over to ESL-1.com/battlefield for anyone that's interested in looking up.
Sounds like a great website. Tell me more.
You have the qualifiers on there.
Okay.
Eventually, I'm assuming groups will be there as well. Cut number 4, MhSV. Actually, okay, so they beat Nevraz, and they went 2-1 against Fnatic in the
So they've already had a 3-mapper.
Quarterfinals, yeah.
And then Fnatic proceeded to then 2-0 SK. So perhaps we've been selling MhSV short for this entire game.
Well, I guess we might see 3 maps. I think it's definitely a possibility. And I know there has been some controversy. This is the weird thing for me, is that it's, you know, you don't want to bring it up, but it is a valid thing to talk about, is that there's been controversy around MhSV and whether or not they're legit. I know there's a lot of teams out there, a lot of top teams who really question that. And then when it came into the offline finals last season, they couldn't field 2 or 3 other people. They had to pick up random people to play for them because I believe they weren't old enough to go, or they just couldn't go to the LAN. So if they do make it to the offline finals this time and they do field their 5, I'm really gonna be interested to see, you know, how they do. There's been, you know, Fnatic have proved themselves time and time again. Epsilon, Meet Your Makers, SK have all, you know, all proved themselves. And I want to see MhSV do that if they can.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's something that we really need to see. I can't believe I just pressed the Q button and saw like camera was lining up before.
I remember us talking like, what's in it? What does it say at the top?
It's Dr. Petter.
Pure taste.
Bow no
based. Ho haste.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh, I can't drive.
Scroll down.
Okay, here we go.
Pure taste. Okay. Pure taste. No.
I can't find it.
Hope.
No hope.
I don't know.
Pure taste. No. It looks like a bow. B. Bow. The original. Anyway, sidetracked once again. Apologise for that. 18 seconds on the countdown. It's going to be MhSV up against Fnatic to see if we're going to be seeing a third map. Of course, Fnatic already maybe looking to fall from grace somewhat, but you've already highlighted that this is MhSV Online. We haven't seen a fantastic LAN performance from them in the past. Perhaps we haven't had the opportunity to. And if MhSV do manage to field their full 5 lineup, what will that say and how will they post their results? I mean, that's a real big question, and a question I would love to have answered very, very shortly. But first, we must find out who is going to advance to the grand finals of this 5th cup of the Battlefield 4 ESL One spring season. Tayo, what have you got for us? Holding on to that C flag is actually going to back away, dart away to wait for cover as Felix does get eliminated quite nicely by Valu. And now, I don't accidentally click a corpse. You can see Nevax just hanging around those metal detectors for a short period of time before 2Easy gets the better of him.
Look at that, last man squad already, just from the get-go. Really kind of blood-hungry both these teams are. And really kind of just, it's been a battle of frags more than a battle of flags. Rhymes, nice, not bad. And Antex's man on your screen right now, off for the side of MhSV, off to a decently strong start. Hasn't picked up a kill just yet, but he's been able to get a lot of information to his team. It's allowed him to get a little bit of control. But A flag going to be turned over. Look at that, early 2-1 hold in favor of MhSV again.
And so off the back of that, where do they plan to take this is the question I want answered. And at the moment, Fnatic don't seem to have the answer themselves. As you can see, 2Easy trying to make a push around S-Bend. He's going to be cautious around these explosive barrels. In fact, he's just barreling straight on in to the A side because Banshee is nowhere to be seen. What on earth was he thinking? As now you can see Felix is doing his very best to try and tame Drunks, but Drunks says no. And now A and C are flying, but for how long? You can see Tyler's on C.
Yeah. Not going to be flying much longer, at least that C flag, as they're going to continue to build up this lead. For some reason, I feel like they've done the research. Like, this is the thing, if you're a top team, every team out there can figure out how you play just based off the fact that they can watch your VODs all the time. You know, MhSV, if they don't make it to the semis, or if they don't cast one of their initial games, then what are the chances that Fnatic's going to be able to see that replay or see the VOD? And when you're on the top for so long, you become content, you know, you kind of get lazy, and every team out there can just wait for that moment. Every team that's not a top-tier team can just be like, all right, this is how they play on this map. We're just set nades here, let's just kind of push in this direction and completely counter them. I would assume Fnatic hasn't changed things up because everything seems to be working out well for them. Like, why change what isn't fit or what isn't broke? Why fix what isn't broke? And
I think you had it right the first time.
And MhSV are really showing that you know, Fnatic, you gotta change your strats because we're reading into them perfectly. But Fnatic able to adapt and pick up 4, maybe even 5 frags there, and should be able to hold on to the 2-on-1.
But for how long? Look at Banshee darting straight through the corridor. He's going to come into contact with one. It's going to be Morton Drunks, actually, as he does spawn in. Drunks straight to fall down, though, as Etix to eliminate him. As Etix gets a double. Wow, Valu is added to his arsenal. There's now A and B flying for Fnatic. You can see, actually, oh dear, Etix is going to walk in and get a third. This man is unstoppable. He was top of the scoreboard last time. He is again with 7 already, just 3 minutes into this one. And now Felix kind of shaking his head, realizing he's the last man in the squad, and this squad wipe brought out, and I think Unfix has a lot to do with it as he sat on a really incredible scoreline, 10-3.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's really stepped up since the first half. Actually, he was doing really well. I think he was like 16 and like 7 at the time when we're looking at him. Really performing well. Not to say, you know, he's bad or anything, but it's just kind of cool to see. Anyone on the side of Fnatic can really step up at any given moment. But 107 to 97. The lead is starting to build for Fnatic. They're starting to get some sort of hold, some sort of control. But the push will be coming in towards A with 3 men. 2 from the front from Metal Detectors, 1 from S-Bend. And Addix, he's not even being shot from the back. There's a guy right there, but he just got some free damage in. And look at that, he jumps right past him. Eventually does fall.
Eventually is certainly the key word there. And I mean, Fnatic, they have stabilized quite nicely. They don't seem to be having any issues surrounding the internal sites, but look at Nevak. He's trying to cause trouble. He's trying to cause a bit of havoc out towards C, and he is going to do just that. Drunks now falls as another. Who is that? It was actually Faelex and Co to go down. Now 78 to 106. I'm not sure how well they're going to last out, as finally it looks to be a bit of another failed push, actually. I'll tell a lie. I was going to say finally MhSV have secured B, but looks like Fnatic just a little too strong. They
got C, but unfortunately they committed way more men there than they needed to. And Fnatic were able to push the 4 straight into that flag and secure it. So they're going to make them play from the outside, make them play from the cold. We saw this just earlier with Epsilon up against Infamous, where Infamous pulled out a 98 ticket lead in the first half. So it's a strategy that's worked out in the past, a strategy that works out now. But the question is, can MhSV rise to the occasion? You know, they played on their own map. Siege of Shanghai was their choice, and Fnatic chose Operation Locker. Yeah, they are struggling to get something going. They're struggling to get the read on Fnatic that they had on the map just prior.
So far, anyway. I mean, you said MhSV, they probably... I mean, it comes across as if they've got some sort of real strategy, especially on the first map. Here on Operation Locker, again, a map that we know Fnatic have very clear-cut strategy, clear-cut positions. I mean, Moore and Unfixed are the prime example of that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And that's something that we should really kind of keep in the back of our minds for the majority of the rest of this game, is that fact alone. But 45 to 102, Fnatic seem to have woken up from that first map. And I really wonder what it is. Like, what was the difference? I wish we could talk to them and figure out, you know, what was the difference between that first map and second map? What's, we're not as comfortable on Siege of Shanghai, where MhSV just reading into things. I know Drugs has had a couple of words in chat that both teams agree on some difficulties playing against each other. But 102 to 32, this is looking like Fnatic that we expected to come out of the gates today.
It certainly is. This is the Fnatic we expected to see on map 1, but, you know, they seem to be doing just that on map number 2. There's now all on to Nevax. What is his plan? Absolutely nothing, as he just get taken down by Drunks himself. As now Banshing, look at your score, mate. 4 for 12. Step it up a notch, he does with the rocket. As the Law eliminates Drunks from the game. And that's a fantastic nade as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that connects. It doesn't.
The Law puts him back in jail.
Ooh! Why didn't you save that for something good? You've just wasted that cracker.
Because I didn't think we'd see another Law kill.
Oh, we will at some point, I'm sure. That was good. I'm writing that down, actually.
Don't steal it. Look at this, 98 to 8 tickets left to go. A flag going to be picked up for MhSV, so showing a little bit of life here towards the end of this half. Even actually getting a tri-cap towards C, but that would be quick-lived, as the B flag going to be turning back in the hands of Fnatic. But with 93 tickets left to go, only 8 to worry about on the other side of MhSV with 2 respawns to come in. It's only a matter of time before MhSV will lose out in this first half. The only question that comes to mind now is, how many tickets can they take away from Fnatic before that moment happens?
Yep, very good question, and I don't know how much they can really do here, as, I mean, 90 to 6. Already I can see just Banshing hanging around, doing his best to try and make a dent into the Fnatic side, but a little too late, I think, and 89 very well may be that threshold that is set up by Fnatic. Of course, this is the first half now of map number 2 in this best-of-3 semi-final. As another man falls, MhSV are crumbling, and they have in fact fallen, as it's a full squad wipe. Fnatic know it, as you can see, Drunks is just skipping quite happily to take away that C flag and bring this one to a close. 1 ticket remains. There we go. It's 83 is what Fnatic choose to set as the threshold. And now going into that second half, that's going to be incredibly difficult for MhSV to overcome. And I wouldn't be surprised as my voice does break if we see a map number 3, it's going to be on Langkang Dam.
And that's Fnatic's map. That is the map that they've always really excelled on. One of the few teams actually play that map to choose it. And you'll see why if it can pull off another half here. But look at those, 16-11 for Drunks, 17-6 for Too Easy, 17-7 for Unfixed. On the other side, Etik's at 16-12. You know, he was at 0-1 in the beginning. We talked about how he was doing really well. You know, getting a lot of information for his team, and he turned those informations into kills.
Yeah, I mean, look at those kills. 17, 2 17s and a 16 from the Fnatic side. And I mean, just one man. They have basically had one Drunks on the side of MhSV instead of 3. As,
you don't need more than one Drunks. The world would be a worse place if you had more than one of those. I hope he watches that back and hears it.
I hope so. You'll get a tweet, an angry tweet. As now we are going to be moving into our second half. A second half that I feel maybe a little more one-sided than perhaps we've seen previously in this game. As 83 tickets. It's not impossible, but it's pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Very close, actually. And we'll see how things change in this half. Fnatic, again, this is the team that we expected to show up today. Didn't see much of that in the first map. But if they can pull this one back and take it on till Dam, I think they'll be able to make it through into the finals. Not many teams can beat Fnatic, period, but to beat Fnatic on a map that they're strong on like Dam, it makes it even tougher.
And so, 25 seconds on that clock. On the left-hand side of your screens, Fnatic on the right, MhSV, the European defending champions, alongside MhSV, a team who've never really had their time in the limelight, especially in an offline environment. And so, 10 seconds on that countdown. What are you going to bring to the table here, MhSV? You have 83 tickets to overcome from that first half, and they know if they fall to that third map, a map that they know Fnatic are incredibly strong on, it could get messy.
All right, let's see how things break off here. Looks like Fnatic going to be sending 2, maybe 3 men towards A, and 1 man outside towards C to kind of contest that a little bit, try to get some information, and try to spot them out in the meantime.
You can see him just spamming that spot button. He does manage to find one. Picks up a beautiful frag there. And now Unfixed begging for the revive. Managed to pick that one up as well, and already it can be said that Too Easy and Etics are doing a bit of a dance over this Metal Detector's nade for nade exchange, and neither yet to fall. But already Fnatic are going to be coming up with a very nice BC hold.
Yeah, not a bad hold indeed. And we're going to see if they can maintain that, though. Again, 83 tickets, like, that's not a lot to play with. If MhSV drop below that threshold, Fnatic will have 1 out on map number 2. And take us on to Dam, and I would imagine with just the way Fnatic kind of showed up in that first step alone, they have something to prove here to MhSV, saying, yeah, you might be able to beat us once, but you're not going to beat us twice. You're not going to take the entire game away from us. And well, MhSV, I think, are going to be in for a hurting here. Yeah, well, need I remind you, Jason, of the incredible play we saw in just the offline stages from... sorry, I got distracted. The offline stages from Epsilon. You know, in Cologne, you saw that they picked to the first 2, and then Fnatic brought 3 back in a row. Fnatic are one of those teams who can just bring it when they need to, especially when it comes to comebacks, and already they seem to be going that way. 145 now to 118, and they're just really struggling to even consider losing tickets. They lost 7 so far, just 143. Going 5 men up. Actually, now losing on Too Easy. They're just calling it. They're actually playing this one safe. They're not really committing too much to try to push for that 3rd flag. They're not trying to force it. They're trying to make sure that they can, you know, get the 3 cap and kind of really bring it home to MhSV. It's not about, you know, winning hugely. It's not about winning in style. It's just about winning, period, right now. I mean, yeah, you can kind of force them into a little bit of a negative vibe if you can to get that tri-cap and hold it against them. But in fact, they want to win. They don't want to go for anything risky, not after losing that first map when no one really expected them to. But here we go, MhSV. Last two times these 2 teams met, current score is 2 apiece. And this could be number 3 for Fnatic.
could be, but look at Ethics, straight onto that A flag. They're not going to let them have that one, and the spawns, wow. Those are the random respawns you really are going to hate, and I think Banshik is lying in wait, ready to receive them. 4 members of Fnatic are there. What is that? Is it like a giant potato? Rocking and back and forth in front of him. And MhSV realised that that's the case, and instead of trying to contest, they opted to just take that easy C flag. And I mean, look at Drunks' position. He knows what's happening. He's just going to sit back and watch and then go for the retake.
A giant potato? What's that doing in there? But yeah, Drunks, he's committing a lot of time. He's trying to play it safe here. Trying to even maybe push in a little bit to go for a kill he needs. But the man actually is up behind the pillar. Drunks doesn't know that just yet. He gets a respawn, not a respawn, but a push coming in from middle, trying to help out. Gets the kill. And that will be C turned over. But the random respawns coming back in towards B is going to allow MhSV to secure that. They've got, what, 12 tickets left to go? And that's not a lot of tickets when you have 126 to worry about on the other side. The tri-cap will come back, or the 2-cap will come back in for Fnatic as they pick up A in the meantime. And they are still playing against the clock.
Clock and the tickets, which are now just 10 tickets remain before MhSV have to start locking towards our third map. Best of 3 in the semi-final wouldn't surprise me. In fact, it wouldn't surprise the enemy team. I mean the playing teams, as we saw Fnatic say at the start of this one. We're expecting a 3 map, but that shows that they have some respect for MhSV, or perhaps a lack of trust in themselves, or maybe a bit of both. As now we are going to see the last ticket tick away. MhSV have fallen in the second map, and we're going to have to see a third as GG's in chat. And now we have to turn our attention now to Dawn. Not Dawn. Damn, my handwriting is that bad. As we aren't going to be loading into that one. And I mean, the next question on my lips is, MhSV did it once. Fnatic say they can't do it again. Is it even a possibility, Jason? Where do you stand?
I feel like Dam is the map that there's just no way MhSV will win. Like, this is just a map. If you say Dam, or if you think about what team plays well on it, Fnatic will always be that person.
So like so you see, you know, you think you say like what? Perhaps Locker, and then you if I said Locker, I'd have probably thought Fnatic as well.
Not as much anymore, because a lot of teams banned it against them all the time after they were like the only team to really be able to stomp teams on it.
Right.
So then they got bad on it, didn't practice it as much. But Dam, it's always been one of those maps they secretly practice, because they always expect a team to be like, oh, they don't play Dam, let's just bust that out on them.
Okay.
But they're like, all right, well, joke's on you, because we practice it a lot, and there's just no way you're going to stop us from this.
And so here we are, a map that even I feel like I haven't seen in a while. Never mind, perhaps MhSV. Of course, we don't know their vetoes for the previous cup where these two teams met, which we saw them actually meet in the quarterfinals, with a Fnatic emerging victorious in a 2-1.
At least you get a lot of time here to free cam and enjoy the scenery.
I'm on it. Try and make it as cinematic as possible.
You should start from the dam, from the top of the dam, and go into the city.
Okay. We'll start from here.
It was a lonely city. 2 teams entered. 3 buildings existed, but only 1 team would exit into the finals. Fnatic and MhSV to be duking it out for that building on your screen. That B flag.
And that B flag.
Next time on Battlefield 4.
This is a TV series.
I was trying to do it like Dragon Ball Z, but my voice just doesn't want to do that today.
I'm afraid I
See,
can't.
there's a lot of mystery on this map. Like, what are those containers doing there to the left? That's the right. But we'll go with that one too.
I mean, I just saw containers and went for them. There is a great deal of containers, but I mean, oh my god, I put it all together. Oh my god, this is actually a time travel map. This is the convoy that gets destroyed on Siege of Shanghai.
Oh, snap.
These are the same containers.
Oh, man. Wait, are the dots there? Are the blue dots somewhere?
No, they happened during the Siege of Shanghai thing. Unless, let me just check the windshield. No. Okay. But still, I mean, this is it. I've put the mystery together. I've solved the mystery. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if I find a grey car.
For Dawnbreaker?
No, there's a grey... do you remember there's like a parked car on Operation Locker? Oh my god. It's not that one. I may or may not be getting...
Well, what's over here, though? There's a lot of containers over here.
There's no cars, though. I think that's the one. I always want to go into Siege of Shanghai and check, but I'm pretty sure there's a parked white car just off the side of the map. Oh my god, the mystery thickens. Either way, though, guys, the countdown has finally started, and we can start turning our attention to this game to determine who is going to advance into the grand finals here of our fifth and final cup of the ESL One Battlefield spring season. Of course, after this, that does not mean it's all over. There is plenty more Battlefield action in the calendar, as we are going to be bringing you the group stage prior to the offline stages, which will be coming to you. We had the date, is it 3rd of March for the group stage to kick off? Yep, so that's
3rd, 4th for Group A, 17th, 18th for Group B. And I don't remember what day Group C is. I'm pretty sure it's the week after, so a lot of action to look forward to. 10 euros if you can go into one of these billions and not hit a single thing.
So what's that? Okay, go into the building. Okay.
Into B. B. You have 10 seconds.
Oh, that's not easy. Hang on. Oh. Take the long route.
There's a door right here.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, what? That's not fair. Anyway, here we go. I'll jump on into the overview and see what they can bring to the table. Probably get through the door a little better than I can, as 5 members from Fnatic are just barreling straight on towards that B site. 3 members from MhSV are ready to receive. It's going to be a 3v3 as they kick this one off. You can see Nevax just throwing in a couple of nades, doing what I couldn't, actually breaking through the glass. As already, it looks like we're going MhSV's way. What can Fnatic throw at them, though? Nades already raining in from Unfix. He's going to throw an incendiary down, try and get the flames, perhaps burning the toes of Nevax. Not just yet, though. Let's look at this. Fnatic, they're left out on the outside area, and that's going to mean a 3B site for them for now.
Yeah, for now. But Fnatic waiting on the outside should allow them to continue to push in and kind of flank them from multiple directions. We talked about that before. Being able to hit a site from different angles makes it more effective. Drastically increases the chance of successfully pulling it off. And, well, they're not actually able to get around from the backside. They get stopped in their tracks. And that is going to be a BA hold for MhSV. Strong start. Very good start. Now, of course, we say the B site is one of those sites that can always change hands, and we rarely see teams manage to hold on to it for an extended period of time. Already, though, Nevax and the MhSV bunch have done a pretty good job of it, as he isn't going to be pressured just yet. You can see Fnatic trying to keep the C flag of theirs safe, because Felix is just roaming around. He's being that annoying, that nuisance is the word I want to use, around on towards this C flag, meaning that they can't quite abandon it. Look at this investment from Fnatic. Wow, they are just hungry to find Mr. Felix. As it's going to be a 1-for-1. But all that's done is wasted time and tickets. 148 now to 119, and wow, MhSV can do anything like this throughout the game. If they can continue to be consistent, something they have had issues with in the past, then we could have a real game on our hands. Yeah, this is Land King Dam at its finest. A team who gets control of B and another flag often maintain it for a long time, because it's really hard to hit these buildings. It takes a lot of time if you're the attacking team to get in the right position to successfully hit. Either way, that will be Fnatic getting control of the flag for now. As Unfix trying to get a little bit of a different angle here to try to hold them back. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see the score tie up at 114 apiece, because Fnatic have control of B. It's really hard to lose control unless you're really strong at mechanics and executing strategies in towards that site. And now, Felix on the outside area, all too familiar position from Fnatic, and you can see Unfix and Drunks trying to hold on this doorway. It's a very vulnerable position. It's actually going to be a double for Felix. Beautiful execution from MhSV. And as soon as they lost it, they already seem to be taking it back. And you said you wouldn't be surprised if they equalize. Instead, MhSV, they're going to start to extend their lead here. They're going to try to, and Mr. Nevax, you see him being very patient. Going to get the man coming down staircase. That's Drunks. And that will allow them to get control of B. My question is for how long, though? 128 to 105. The lead is starting to grow a little bit for MhSV. With kills like that, with Valo, actually that's a 1-for-1 trade there. Things might become a little bit more tricky, but it's a 2-on-3 now inside B. Mort still being that anchor for his team, holding on to C in the meantime. I'm trying to give him a little bit of cover from the high ground here. Trying to attack in towards that kitchen area, but that would be a 1-for-1 trade yet again. Valo now rotating back in, and Fnatic will be able to get the pickup onto B. And so now, with that B flag being neutralized, it's going to finally become under Fnatic control. As long as they don't mess around with it too much, this does finally go their way. And now MhSV, their previous tactic was kind of just a 5-man push. It's going to be this just a 1-man push. As Nevax, what are you doing? He came around the corner, didn't manage to take the frag. It's cost the Ethics. It caught immense. Sorry, Ethics had to pick up that one, as that office is getting a little bit disorganized as the chaos continues to ensue. That B flag has been flip-flopping so often for both these teams. Flip-flopping, is that just like it's really difficult to walk? No, it's like when you have one opinion of something and then you change your mind. You're flip-flopping. So the flag's been flip-flopping between both teams.
Oh no, I was just trying to find the distinction between that and the shoe.
Oh.
There isn't one, but I get it.
I don't think there is. But either way, MhSV going to get control of C. Force Fnatic now on some really weird respawns. Looks like they're trying to attack the A flag. They will be successful to pick up 2 kills over there, but there's still one more man there to defend it. But it's allowing Fnatic to play from B, to use that as their push-off point. And you can just see how quick it is to hit A or hit C, which means MhSV have to be quick, have to be definitely on par with their aim to hold down these last 2 flags.
Yeah, what this means is they're basically very unpredictable now. If you're defending from Fnatic, in fact, look, never mind, it's already happened. Ty's in a great position though. Great spray. Wow, ACW a little too strong there. Double from him as the Incendiary comes out to force them back. And what I was going to say before he went huge was that letting them have the B flag means that you have no idea. So many different angles suddenly of where Fnatic's side can come from. And now, talking of that, you can see Drunks is going to be applying pressure to Felix, as he is immediately going to be taking him down, but his teammates are there to back him up, and MhSV continue to maintain this hold. And I mean, I don't believe what I'm saying, but I mean, if they're not too careful, last man in the squad is making a move for that C flag, and if he doesn't, Fnatic, this may be falling a little too fast away from them.
It very well could be. I actually wonder if this map was played in the best of 3 before last week, or last Tuesday.
Wow.
Keep forgetting that was 2 days away. That's going to be a tri-cap, and that's going to be a lot of tickets bleeding away from Fnatic here. MhSV building up a lead, and it's a hefty lead indeed. A will finally turn over in the hands of Fnatic, and this 1v1 at B is going to be so crucial, and that will go Alex's way, allowing him to maintain control of B. But now the push is coming in towards C. It's constantly battling around the map, and Fnatic are struggling to get a second flag back in their own hands.
39 tickets is all they have to play with, and if MhSV, they can keep this number anywhere above 80, we could very well be seeing a non-Fnatic final. It would feel weird to see, it would be amazing to see, in fact, to see a bit of new blood at the last chance to really showcase it before the group stage. And so now, off you got for us, 94-37. They have managed to close it out a little bit by picking up the A and C flag, and it's going to come into how MhSV choose to spend their spawns.
Yeah, and Fnatic as well, where they choose to send reinforcements with the respawns, and it looks like they'll be hitting B instead, so they're actually trying to give up A, they're trying to give up C. Looks like C is the flag they're actually trying to completely give away with no one there to defend against it, but they're going to be successful. They're going to pick up the tri-cap themselves. They're forcing now MhSV to play complete from the outside, and the push coming in towards A here is going to be crucial.
It's incredibly so, and I mean, this is just a trip cap. The trip cap rubbing perhaps a little bit of the cockiness that MhSV may have been showing in their face. As now that's going to be a full squad wipe. Etix is first to respawn, and Etix has been doing some incredible hard work with the frags. 16 frags to 4. He's, I mean, in contrast to perhaps Drunks, you can see on your screens now 13-11. However, he has died exactly that 11 times. Etix not giving anything away, and just opting to really frag and drag this game out. Look at that, another kill and another delay as they're trying to find an end this trip cap from Fnatic.
Well, it will come in towards C. Finally, Felix and his partner are able to make their way through here. Fnatic do have one man pushed up to maybe help out or maybe go for the retake when they do decide to lead. But that lead that MhSV had is gone. 48-35, 13 ticket difference, now 12. Every second that ticks by is another ticket that MhSV are losing out on. If Fnatic getting closer to pulling ahead.
And we said, you know, if it's above 80, well, I need to throw that out the window and, you know, readdress it, because 42 now to 34. They've basically sliced the MhSV tickets in half. And it's not over yet, reaching that 8-minute mark now already, and Fnatic they managed to bring this back to a level playing field, and all it took was one well strategically placed trip cap.
Well, they've left A completely wide open. Fnatic reinforcing this B flag with all 5 men. Finally, one able to head back to stop this cap, which will be taken away in just a few. Actually, 2 men going to be heading back there. Unfixed coming in from the behind them. This is actually perfect at him, picking up that stairs really quickly. He's going to be able to flank them and pick up so many easy kills, run straight in. Spots got behind the flag. Can't get the kill, though. And that should be A turning over to the side of MhSV. Back on the 2-1. Down 1 ticket, 31-31 apiece.
And this is really kind of do or die. MhSV. And of course, if you have just joined us or haven't seen this before, the winner of this one does receive that kind of ticket advantage, we call it, going into that second half, and that's taken away from the 150 that the enemy team start with. So now, 24-27, Fnatic have completely removed any sort of threat that MhSV had created in that first kind of quarter. In fact, in the first 3 quarters, it's fair to say, of this game. But now it looks like MhSV are maybe faltering, tripping at the last hurdle. And it maybe, just maybe, we're going to see Fnatic with that slight lead in this third map. Of course, that didn't stop MhSV picking them up on Siege of Shanghai. Of course, 8 tickets secured by Fnatic on the end of the first half of Siege of Shanghai to go on to just close it out with style. So MhSV, they're not out. They're certainly not making it easy for themselves.
Yeah, they're not. But luckily on this map, 20 tickets, 10 to 20 tickets isn't that big. It just comes down to you can hold that tri-cap for a little bit longer or maintain that 2-1. But they've got the 2-1 back for themselves, 11 to 20. And these tickets are falling out of Fnatic's hands ever so quickly. As MhSV looking to close out this first half with a victory for themselves.
Magnum in the hands of Unfixed. That is a shot, is a headshot as well, as Valex's brain is just splattered over the wall. And now B push from Fnatic. They want to try and take this flag away. They want that slight advantage. It could very well be the determining factor in this semi-final. 10-minute mark reached, and already we still haven't quite got a result. So few tickets there left, and Fnatic, they seem to have done a good job. I think this could be it. Can't really respawn. Navax realizes it, as does Fnatic, and we're going to be seeing a repeat of Siege of Shanghai. Fnatic ending the first half, this time of the third map, with 8 tickets.
Oof, not an easy game at all for both those teams. Really showing that MhSV has been able to step up when it matters at the end of the season. And are definitely trying to separate themselves from everyone else when you think of, the top of the mid-tier teams. But, honestly, after looking at how this game's been going, I don't think we can really call them a mid-tier team. I mean, if you were just watching it, didn't recognize either of the team names, you would say MhSV are probably the top-tier team here, because they've been able to just do so well against such a hard team to beat like Fnatic.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job, and I mean, I say they, all of them on that scoreboard. Even you see Nevax, who was sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard, he was doing his job. He saw before he was that lurker, he was hanging around the slightly less dominated sites and hoping to get a pick, which of course can be kind of a risky play style. It cannot necessarily be the most rewarding, but it's a necessary one, and he's kind of demonstrated that for us right here, right now. And so on the other side of things, Drunk's 20 frags for him. That was top fragger for Fnatic, and Mr. Ethics on the side of MhSV with, what was it, 26, I think?
Something ridiculous. But here we go, loading into the last half of our semifinal between Fnatic and MhSV. Obviously, let us know in chat, guys, who you're rooting for. You can let us know via Twitter at MachiniTV and at JKaplan. Always like to hear what you guys have to say and who you predict to win or who you're at least rooting for. And I could probably say most of you out there, well, actually, no, I can't. I was going to say most of you out there are probably rooting for Fnatic, but I think a lot of people out there want to see Fnatic dethroned and to see them stop winning everything, so these newer teams can come in and really kind of suck it to them.
Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me. 48 seconds on that counter. We're going to go straight on into this one, so no delays, and we can kick this one off with a bang and hopefully have the victor of the other semi-final that's going on simultaneously to this one. Probably to get the result of that one. We can have a quick look at the bracket to see if we have a result for that one, Jason. I'd be intrigued to see who the teams are battling to perhaps compete with in the second grand, or well, in the 5th grand final, sorry, of the spring season.
I'm trying to look.
I believe you.
No, I don't see a result yet. But let me refresh the other page.
Do it, do it, do it.
No, no result.
Okay, well, MYM and Epsilon is being played simultaneously to this one, as we are yet to have a result from that one. Probably going to 3 maps as well. In fact, that's exactly what that one means. As here we go, Fnatic, MhSV. Can MhSV knock Fnatic down a peg or 9, as they are going to be trying to make a move in towards this side? Look at that safety positioning from Balutage, trying to give his team cover. In fact, actually, that's a prime position.
What gun is he using?
AK.
Huh. He's looking for any of those long rotates around, and he actually will have a couple people there. Look at that spray coming in, picks up one. The first frags of this round. And now looking for that second and allow the rest of the team to push straight in towards B. They will secure it, and they're even contesting C at the same time, not allowing to go for the quick cap. So off to an early start. They already have an 8-ticket lead. Now they're up another 11. And are looking to take their place in the finals yet again.
And MhSV just completely storming onto C, saying, you know, no trip cap here. We can't let them get ahead, at least by not any large margin. And look at that positioning from Drunks, just holding in the corner, trying to be unpredictable, and he certainly is. As now, who is on the hunt for Drunks? They know he's around here somewhere. The communications has told them that. And look at this Banshee. He's like, I know there's someone around, don't want to commit, and he doesn't. As he's going to try and find the safe way out, but the bookshelf says no. Oh, dearie me, he's going to have to take the stairs. And in the meantime, Fnatic, this is what we saw before. This is basically a complete mirror of what we saw before. As finally Banshing, he takes the plunge quite literally, and it costs him his life. But yeah, one ticket so far lost by Fnatic, and this is exactly what we saw from MhSV. However, at the moment, Fnatic doing just that.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to say before, Fnatic, I was expecting them to easily win this map, but as we're seeing them play right now, this is kind of what we expected, or at least I did personally, out of these two teams, where Fnatic can kind of just get full control of the map and make sure to lock things down. They stop the push towards A. They're going to be trying to rotate in and defend this B push, which will be happening any second now, and Val is going to be the man to offer his services in from that back of the site. Even turn around and peek in towards door, where there won't be a man just yet. There's only one man there on the B flag. Like, this is an easy take for them, and yet it's taken them so long to commit for it.
Yeah, I mean, that is ridiculous. The map is so very blue right now, and already MhSV are falling by the wayside. 94 is the number for now, but I mean, just 2 minutes in and already lost 50 of your 150 tickets, even 60 now. It's not ideal. As here comes Fnatic's side on towards Etix. Etix, the star player for MhSV, and I'm sure no one can really dispute that at the moment. If you were to look at his stats, he's had an incredible KD across this entire cup, and across this entire season, even as now B and C still finally starting to change hands. Okay. So B is changing hands. A could potentially change hands if Mort can't land these shots, and watch for him. He does fluff that first one, which will allow the man who's trying to chase down stay alive, but B is going to be turning back over in just a few seconds, and that will get the bleed back. Oh, Mort trying to connect the shots there. Can't connect any of them, and he's forced to just kind of play safe, wait for some respawns to come in. Oh, he gets the guy chasing. Picks up one, can't get the second, though, and A will be turned over. Fnatic not able to back him up in time, but look at that. Valu trying to push back in towards A, trying to watch that high ground, and he just can't connect the shot just yet. The nade even comes in, and Valu will fall. Etix, in the meantime, is dancing with the CT scans, and talking of brains, you can see he takes two in the head with him.
CAT scan.
CT, yeah.
They call him CT in England?
Oh, maybe I'm making that up. CT scan, yeah, it is that's a thing.
Okay.
Maybe we just dropped the A for whatever reason.
I mean, we're American, so we probably put A in there just so you think it was C American T.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's an odd one. I've heard it be called CAT scan, but not in England. Maybe it has been. We'll have a look after the game. Anyway, sidetrack aside, I have seen MhSV start to stabilize, and this is exactly what they need to do. And I mean, you highlighted it before. This is the kind of beauty of Lankang Dam, is once they do get hold of B, you really have to work as a unit, work as a team, and try and contain this this B area. Oh, jeez. What? What's up? Nothing.
Is it my funny face?
It was your funny face. Okay.
We'll see. B being picked up and maintained for Fnatic now, but 75 tickets. Not a lot left to work with for MhSV, but they are struggling to get something going back. With a 3-man push straight in towards B, it might just be enough to finally allow them to get this B flag, and more importantly, the hold that they need. Yeah, you can get a flag, but if you can't maintain it, you're not going to be able to pick up or at least claw back at this deficit that you're currently sitting on.
Whoa, Nevax diving down, Assassin's Creed in towards that middle area, and he's going to get picked apart so very easily. Mort's just holding the cross, and you can see the map starting to get all too blue, as is perhaps MhSV's mood, as 4 members have been knocked down. And now just one remains. It's going to be Tayu trying to climb up the ladder, but he's making all too much noise, and has to be careful here as he does drop his health back. He knows there's going to be a player just around the corner. It's actually going to be Unfixed, who's low. Not for much longer though. Banshing takes him down. But B and C seems to have always been a case of Fnatic just retaking sites a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently than MhSV, and that's costing them tickets here, 105 to 50. And already that clock is at 5 minutes.
Well, 46 left to go. MhSV, they've already done well. Even if they do lose out on this, they've gained respect out there for how they've been able to perform and how they've been able to take Fnatic to the brink of a loss. But just think how much better it would be for them if they won. And if they can't maintain a single flag, which Fnatic are getting the tri-cap on, then they might not be able to, or they won't be able to, if they can't cap a single flag to do anything about it. And the respawns that they're throwing out are random over towards the complete outside of the map, not anywhere you really want to kind of bounce off of.
That's a trip cap. That's going to mean that just one remaining push for the MhSV side. It's all going to be coming to a close. This is the crescendo as Fnatic have quite easily turned it up a notch. 12 and 11 apiece for Drunks and more. Sorry, Too Easy, as the real kind of top fraggers have turned it up a notch as they needed to.
That's going to be it. I mean, the respawns that they have are
it's game
worst that you could possibly hope for. So Fnatic going to be able to get through into the finals, play against the winner of Epsilon and Meet Your Makers. Aw, nice. Nice little bot action going on there. And that means we're going to have an interesting grand final again.
Indeed, the winners of MYM and Epsilon will determine who Fnatic will face in the grand final. Fnatic, a team who have only struggled to get to the grand final once after being bested in the semi-final.
So Epsilon beat Meet Your Makers 2-1.
Epsilon, so we're going to have a Fnatic Epsilon final.
I feel like we haven't seen that before.
That sounds very unusual. Are you sure?
We've seen it 3 times this season.
We have seen it 3 times already.
Wow.
So 3 times in 5 cups. We're going to see a 4th. And that's just, all that is just a statement about how incredible the Fnatic and Epsilon sides are. They are obviously leaps and bounds. Well, maybe not just maybe not bounds, maybe baby steps now, considering how MhSV, we've seen good stuff from Infamous. All of these these kind of mid-tier teams, middle of the pack teams seem to be getting better. And so, yes, Fnatic are doing well in the, so far, but we've now got a bit of a kind of a bit of a break after, of course, the grand final. Before the group stage, where we maybe even seen another jump in improvement. We may very well be seeing these middle of the pack teams getting even better.
I think all teams want to be placed in Group B or C.
What's that?
I think the mid-tier teams do, because B and C are like 2 weeks away. No, 3 weeks away, on the 17th of March.
Prep time, right.
And Group A is next week.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, if you're in Group A, then you better be at the peak of your game. Maybe like the teams like Fnatic want to get it done now just so they can relax for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But if you're one of the teams who are mid-tier, you want to get that practice in before you do have to kick off your chance to get into the offline finals.
No doubt. Right, guys, we're going to be jumping to a very short break to maybe gather some resources, get the players back in the server, and we'll see you very shortly for our grand final here of Cup number 5.